Hello, my name is Puneet Patel. My UC ID is 300064251, and today I'm presenting you App Project 1. My group number is B07-7. So this is my breadboard. As you can see, these three are switches, 1, 2, and 3 being in the middle. And we have designed a stopwatch or a timer actually, and let me show you my code. So this is my main.c, and in the main file these are all the macros for idles and sleep, and this is my main function. Here on the main function, the first thing that's displayed is the time. The 0 is a time flag. The display function is defined in iOS.c. So as you can see, it's a time up flag, as we have not started countdown, so I have passed 0 now. So what this does is this creates an array of characters, and this shows the time on Terra term, which is right here. I've opened it already, and after that, in the main file, I've initialized clock to 32 kilohertz, and then I've called IO init function. IO init function is defined in iOS C. What this does is basically turns on all the analog pins and sets them digital input and digital outputs. After that, in the main file, I'm running a loop in which the CPU or a microprocessor is gonna be in the idle state, and meanwhile inside the iOS.c, I've combined a cn interrupts files function, namely void attribute underscore cn interrupt void. So what this does is this creates interrupts, checks for the debounces. So what happens when the switch is pressed is interrupts are created, and based on those interrupts I'm calling update time function. This is basically our IO check function from the last driver project 4, but I've changed it to void time update. So what this does is checks if the switch 1 is pressed, then it increases the time count PB1. So count PB1 keeps track of our minutes, and count PB2 tracks our seconds. So when switch 1 is pressed, timer is set to 0, which means there is no countdown going on, and minutes are increased by 1 until they are divisible by 60 to keep the minutes in between 1 to 1 to 59. After that, the time is displayed. This display function again displays the time, but here you can see the count. Suppose we have stopped the count at 11 minutes, then the output 1 is gonna show 1. The 48 is there to add character ASCII value, and the output 2, which is gonna be this one, is gonna show 1 based on this calculation. Same thing happens for count PB2, and thus minutes and seconds are displayed. After that, after setting the time, when switch 3 is pressed, if switch 3 is pressed, then we enable check PB3 flag, and then we wait for 3000 millisecond or 3 second precisely. After that, we check if PB3 is still pressed while the PB3 was pressed. Check PB3 is 1, and if that's the case, then we reset the timer and set everything to 0. Otherwise, we check if check PB3 is 1 and switch 3 is not present after 3000 millisecond. Then we start the timer and set the check PB3 to 0, and as long as there's no switches are pressed and timer is running, the LED will start flashing by turning off and turning back on inside the while loop. And If timer reaches 0, we exit the while loop. Otherwise, we check if minutes are 0 and seconds are 0. Then we stop flashing of the LED and display function using flag 1. What this flag does in display is it adds the alarm text behind the output. So whenever the minutes are 0 and the seconds are 0 inside the while loop, that means the timer has countdown has stopped, and this means that it's time to go alarm off. That's when this display is used, and then timer is shut down to exit the while loop. Otherwise, we keep subtracting the seconds until they are 0, and if they are 0, then we make them 59 and subtract 1 minute. And this 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 uh this is why the LED has a flashing effect after every second. And that's it. Let me show you that on the Teraterm. Alright, this is our Teraterm, and as you can see here, it says 00 at the initialization. Now I'm gonna press my switch number 1 to, as you can see, the time and minutes are increasing. And if you want, you can stop at any time. Suppose I want to stop at 26. There you go. Now let me press switch 2. This should increase my seconds. And to show that these seconds and minutes are in loop, let me just show you that here. After 59, it turns to 0. Same thing goes for minutes. After 59, they will turn to 0 and reset, basically resetting the timer. You can start increasing the minutes and seconds again, but in case you want to reset it, you can do 3-second long press on switch 3, and they will be 0 as you can see them now. Let me show you that once more. 7, and now pressing on the 3 button now should go 0. Awesome. Now I've pulled up another Chrome window which has a timer, so we're gonna set it to 10 seconds, and let's just increase this to 15 and start the timer. You can see my LED is flashing, and there it stays on. Thank you.